Murphy, but here comes Gout Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe.
He broke Usain Bolt's record at just 16, then ran a 200 meters so fast it shouldn't even be possible. But the craziest twist? He didn't even win the spotlight for the race. At just 17 years old, Gout Gout did something most sprinters only dream of. He ran faster than a young Usain Bolt. But that's only the beginning of the story. In a whirlwind of trackside drama, record-breaking performances, and Olympic dreams, this teenage phenomenon from Australia is turning the sprinting world upside down. Born in Queensland to South Sudanese parents who migrated to Australia in 2005, Gout's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. With a name that's impossible to forget and speed that's impossible to ignore, Gout became a household name almost overnight. And it wasn't just because of his talent, it was because he dethroned a legend. At the Australian Schools Championships in Brisbane, Gout stunned everyone by running the 200 meters in a blistering 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history in the making. That time didn't just break personal bests, it smashed two major records: Usain Bolt's under-17 world mark of 20.13 seconds and Australia's national record of 20.06 seconds set by Peter Norman back in 1968. In one unforgettable sprint, Gout etched his name into two record books, proving he's not just fast, he's historic.
Him go here, Gout Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world.
But he wasn't done yet. At the 2025 Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, Gout lined up for the 200-meter final with one goal: to go even faster. And that's exactly what he did. He crossed the finish line in a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd went wild, the cameras flashed, and commentators were nearly speechless. It was the kind of moment athletes train a lifetime for. But there was a catch.
We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout. It says, "Hey world, this is me."
The tailwind during that race was plus 2.2 meters per second, just above the legal limit for record validation. That meant the 19.84 couldn't go down in the books as an official record. Still, it was the second fastest time ever run by an under-20 athlete in any conditions. Legal or not, it was a statement. Gout was here, and he was coming for everything. Yet the race wasn't just defined by the stopwatch, it was also marked by an unexpected and emotional moment of sportsmanship. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's main rival and fellow Aussie sprinter, false-started and was disqualified before the race even began. For any athlete, especially one in peak form, it's a crushing way to exit. But what Kennedy did next surprised everyone. He ran over to Gout after the race, not out of frustration, but to embrace and congratulate him. The gesture went viral. In a sport often defined by competition and ego, this show of respect stood out. Two competitors, one moment of unity. And that unity mattered because both Gout and Kennedy had entered that race hoping to make history together by breaking the 20-second barrier. Gout made it. Kennedy, due to the false start, would have to wait. But the respect between them told the world this wasn't just a rivalry, it was a shared mission. "Feels really good. That's what I've been chasing," said Gout of smashing through the 20-second barrier. It's hard to ignore the comparisons to Usain Bolt. The towering Jamaican sprinter set the gold standard for speed, and anyone running close to his times is bound to draw parallels. But Gout isn't interested in being the next Bolt. He's made it clear. He wants to build his own legacy. One that's rooted not in imitation, but in innovation. And he's well on his way. His recent performances haven't just caught the attention of the Australian media, they've made waves internationally. Track analysts, Olympic veterans, and even Bolt himself have taken notice. The excitement isn't just hype, it's recognition. Gout isn't a one-race wonder, he's a generational talent. But what makes Gout truly fascinating isn't just his times, it's his mindset. After a disappointing run just 2 weeks before his 19.84 performance, many athletes would have crumbled under the pressure. Not Gout. Instead, he used the setback as fuel. He trained harder, focused sharper, and delivered a performance that left even seasoned sprinters in awe.
Be Gout of this universe! Unbelievable too!
His journey is also part of a larger wave of rising Australian talent. Names like Cameron Myers, Jessica Hull, Rohan Browning, and Tori Lewis are rewriting what it means to be a track star down under. But even among that elite company, Gout stands out. His speed is jaw-dropping. His potential is limitless. And the future? It's already unfolding. Gout has his eyes set on the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, where he'll go head-to-head with the world's best. Beyond that, his sights are firmly locked on the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics and the 2032 Brisbane Games. Those aren't just goals. They're the next chapters in a story that's just getting started. Even now, Gout continues to train with relentless intensity. His coaches describe him as unusually focused for someone his age, constantly breaking down race footage, obsessing over starts, and finding milliseconds to shave off. That drive is what separates a fast kid from a future legend. He's not just chasing records, he's engineering greatness. The excitement around Gout isn't limited to fans and coaches. Sponsorships and endorsements are beginning to follow, but his inner circle is cautious. They know the pressure that comes with fame, especially at such a young age. Still, those close to him say he's handling the spotlight with surprising maturity. His interviews are grounded, his goals are clear, and his work ethic speaks for itself. The global track community is watching. There's a hunger for the next big thing, and many believe Gout Gout could be it. With every sprint, he's showing that speed isn't just a gift, it's a message. One that says, I belong on this stage. If anything is clear, it's this. Gout Gout isn't waiting for the future. He's sprinting straight into it. With every race, he's redefining what's possible, not just for himself, but for every young athlete watching. And if 19.84 seconds is what he can do at 17, just imagine what's coming next. Because in a world where speed defines greatness, Gout Gout isn't just fast, he's legendary in the making. Like and subscribe if you want to say you knew about Gout Gout before he took over the Olympics.
Gout Gout has broken the magical 20-second barrier as he took the 200-metre title at the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth.
A teenager with a name you've probably never heard just broke a 56-year-old record. He trains in silence, avoids the spotlight, and still managed to stun the entire athletics world. So who is Gout Gout? And how did he get this fast, this young? The answer might surprise you. At just 17 years old, Gout Gout is running faster than most professional sprinters twice his age. He's already broken national records, stunned the athletics world, and clocked times faster than Usain Bolt did at the same age. But behind the medals, headlines, and wind-assisted sub-10-second sprints is a deeper story. A story of raw talent, discipline, sacrifice, and a coach who's been through more than most. This is the story of Gout Gout, Australia's next big hope in sprinting, and how he's torching the 200 meters like nobody expected.
Knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout.
Gout Gout wasn't born into fame. He's the son of South Sudanese immigrants and grew up in Queensland, Australia. From a young age, Gout stood out, not because he was loud or flashy, but because he was fast, really fast. At Ipswich Grammar School, where he's still finishing year 12, Gout's speed quickly became impossible to ignore. Teachers, classmates, and eventually coaches started noticing. But the person who saw the biggest potential in him early on was Di Shepherd, the woman who would become his coach, mentor, and guiding hand. Di Shepherd isn't your typical athletics coach. She didn't come from an elite sports background. In fact, she used to work at Woolworths and then in a school uniform shop. She first started training athletes through her involvement in Little Athletics with her own kids. She didn't go to the Australian Institute of Sport. She wasn't part of the High Performance Network. But what she lacked in connections, she made up for with passion, discipline, and a no-nonsense approach. She noticed something special in Gout. Not just his speed, but his mindset, his ability to stay calm under pressure, his emotional intelligence. She says it takes about 4 years to really know an athlete, and she's been working with Gout for almost that long. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where Gout Gout starts turning heads. In December, at the Australian All-Schools Championship, Gout ran 20.04 seconds in the 200 meters, breaking Peter Norman's national record that had stood since 1968. That record was older than Gout's parents. Gout Gout ran the 200 meters in 20.04 seconds, which broke the 56-year-old Australian record held by Peter Norman and also surpassed Usain Bolt's personal best at the same age. In April, at the Australian Athletics Championships, he clocked a wind-assisted 9.99 in both his heat and the final of the 100 meters. Those times don't count as official records because the wind was too strong. But they prove one thing: he's getting dangerously close to running a legal sub-10. That's something only one Australian has ever done, Patrick Johnson, who ran 9.93 back in 2003. But greatness doesn't come without sacrifice. Coach Di Shepherd has made it clear, to compete at the top, you don't get to live like a normal teenager. Your social life will be non-existent, she told Gout years ago. And now, that's exactly what's happening. While most of his classmates are out with friends or relaxing after school, Gout is training 6 days a week. He does 2 gym sessions on top of that. And he still has to study for his final exams. I've been telling him for a couple of years that when we get to a set point, your social life will be pretty much non-existent, in the sense you just can't go out where you want, she says. He's at that point pretty much now, which is kind of tough when you think he's still at school. It's a heavy load, but he doesn't complain. Shepherd's coaching style is tough, and it comes from her own tough past. She was hit by a car while riding a motorcycle and has had 11 surgeries on her leg. She walks with a limp and wears a knee brace. She lives with a chronic infection in her leg that prevents more operations. On top of that, she's lived through serious personal trauma, the kind she doesn't talk about in detail publicly. She says it took until 2021 when she finally saw a counselor to begin processing it all. Her breakthrough? Realizing that she survived, that she came out the other side stronger, and that maybe, just maybe, her purpose was to help others do the same. Despite never chasing fame, Shepherd has built one of the most respected training squads in Australia. She never advertised her services. Athletes just started showing up and staying. She helped guide Joseph Dung, the 800-meter record holder, before Peter Boll broke that mark. More recently, another of her runners, Jonathan Cassiano, won the under-18 200-meter title in Perth. The results speak for themselves. Gout Gout, though, is something else entirely. Even as fame starts to find him, Gout's handling it with maturity beyond his years. He recently appeared on a live TV show wearing a Real Madrid tracksuit and casually busted out a dance move on set. He joked about being starstruck when some Collingwood footy players asked him for a photo on a flight, but he didn't let it go to his head. He still prefers the 200 meters over the 100, because he knows he's not the best starter, but once he gets moving, no one's catching him. Gout has set his sights on the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. That's just 3 years away. If his current times hold, he could already be a contender to reach the finals, maybe even more. But the real goal? Brisbane 2032. It'll be his home Olympics. He'll be 24. That's when sprinters typically hit their peak. Shepherd and Gout are already planning for that long run. They're not chasing quick glory, they're chasing the mountaintop. Every great athlete hits a plateau. Shepherd knows it. Gout knows it. It's just part of the process. There will be setbacks, races he doesn't win, days where the body doesn't cooperate, times when the attention gets too loud. But Shepherd is preparing him for that too. She says, when it comes, we say, bang, okay, time to find our next level. In June and July, Gout is heading to Europe to compete against the best young sprinters in the world. He'll face new challenges, stronger competitors, unfamiliar tracks, different weather. But if he gets the right conditions and a legal tailwind, we could see history. A sub-10-second 100, a sub-20-second 200, at just 17. That would change everything. In a sport where records often feel out of reach, Gout Gout is reminding us that sometimes the next legend is already among us. Training quietly, working hard, and running faster than anyone thought possible. He's not just chasing times, he's chasing greatness. And if he keeps going like this, he just might catch it. If you're into stories of rising legends and record-breaking speed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because Gout Gout's journey is just getting started.
So let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this.
What exactly did Gout Gout just announce that has the sprinting world in a frenzy? At just 16, his latest move isn't just big, it's a complete game changer. In the world of track and field, breaking records isn't just about speed, it's about legacy. And right now, that legacy is being shaken by a teenager named Gout Gout. You might not have heard his name before, but what he just did on the track has everyone watching. Gout Gout isn't just fast, he's record-breaking fast. At just 16, this Australian sprinter did something no one in his age group has ever done. He shattered Usain Bolt's long-standing 200-meter record for under 18 athletes.
Legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world.
Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2003, a young Usain Bolt ran the 200 meters in 20.13 seconds. That was the fastest time ever recorded by a 16-year-old, and it stood unchallenged for over 2 decades. That is until December 20th, 24, when Gout Gout stepped onto the track at the Australian All-Schools Championships. With the crowd buzzing and the cameras rolling, Gout clocked an unbelievable 20.04 seconds. Let that sink in. He didn't just edge past Bolt's time, he crushed it. And suddenly, this soft-spoken kid from Queensland was making global headlines. But that wasn't the whole story. In the 100 meters, Gout was just as explosive. He ran a wind-assisted 10.04 seconds in the heats. And while that time doesn't count officially due to the wind, it was a serious statement. Then he followed up with a legal 10.17 seconds in the final, breaking the Australian under 18 record. And this wasn't just a one-off. Gout's been consistently putting down world-class times, and coaches around the globe are starting to take notice. So, who exactly is Gout Gout? Born in Ipswich, Queensland, to South Sudanese parents, Gout started off in soccer. But it didn't take long before his blistering speed caught the attention of coaches who urged him to switch to track. It was a gamble, but it paid off big. His progression has been nothing short of electric. Every season, he's shaved off time, outpacing older and more experienced runners. And what really sets him apart isn't just his raw talent, it's how calm and focused he is under pressure. At just 16, he carries himself like a pro. And now, big names are getting involved. Gout recently signed a major sponsorship deal with Adidas. That alone would be huge for any athlete, let alone a teenager. But there's more. He's headed to Florida to train with Olympic champion Noah Lyles. That's like a rising young actor suddenly going to work under the mentorship of Denzel Washington. You don't get those opportunities unless people truly believe you're the real deal. So what's next for the teenage phenomenon? Gout is aiming for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. It's an ambitious goal, but no one's counting him out. If his current trajectory continues, he could very well be lining up alongside the world's fastest men in just a few months. And beyond that, he's got his sights set on the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, a dream that feels more and more likely every day. But with great speed comes great pressure. Comparisons to Usain Bolt are flattering, sure, but they also set a sky-high bar. Bolt wasn't just fast. He was a showman, a record breaker, and a global icon. Gout is different. He's quieter, more reserved. But he lets his running do the talking, and right now, it's shouting one message. The sprinting world has a new contender. The buzz isn't just about what he's done, it's about what he might do next. Scouts and analysts are already debating how far he could go. Could he break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters as a teenager? Could he one day threaten Bolt's senior world records? These questions seemed impossible a year ago. Now, they're very real. And it's not just the speed that's got people talking. Gout represents something bigger. A new generation of athletes from diverse backgrounds redefining what the future of sprinting looks like. His story, from a soccer-loving kid in Queensland to the fastest 16-year-old on the planet, is one of opportunity, ambition, and sheer talent. But don't blink, because this race is just getting started. As Gout Gout prepares to step onto the world stage, one thing's for sure. The legacy of sprinting is about to get a whole lot faster. And if you thought Usain Bolt was untouchable, think again. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your predictions, and don't forget to like the video if you think he's the next sprinting legend. This journey's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. This is Eliud Kipchoge. the man who many consider to be the greatest marathoner of all time. His legacy stands at a critical turning point as he approaches the 2025 London Marathon. In the 2019 London Marathon, Kipchoge won his fourth London title, officially winning this race more than any other male athlete before him. But the manner in which he won this marathon was just shocking. For the opening half, Kipchoge split a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 37 seconds, still running right next to many of the world's best marathoners. But for the final half marathon, Kipchoge dropped the hammer with a closing half in 61 minutes flat. For his final 2 miles, this is where he really went crazy, dropping a split of 8 minutes and 56 seconds. The best marathon there has ever been dominates.